Hello and welcome back to Spiritually Connected with Tanya Lee. I'm your host, Tanya Lee. Today's guest is a truly remarkable psychic medium. Her ability to connect with teachers, guides, and departed loved ones is nothing short of astonishing. Her compassion and genuine interest in each client provides for a relaxing, revealing, and down-to-earth reading. The quality and amount of information Maria receives from the other side has led many to simply state, man, she is the real deal. And which she truly is. I've had the experience of her as well, so I can attest to that. Maria is not only a highly regarded psychic medium, but also a master Reiki practitioner and is proficient in Pranic Healing. We'll have to find out more about that. Most important to Maria is people understand the simple truth. There is no death, only life. Best-selling author of There Is No Death, Only Life, forward by John Thomas. Maria Verdeschi is also part of the best-selling book, The Last Breath, True Stories of a Medium, the Afterlife, and Messages from Heaven, who also yours truly is part of as well. Thank you so much for being with us, and welcome, Maria.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Oh my gosh, it's so good to have you on here. Do you know, I saw you on Thomas John's show, and I said, oh, I have to have her. She's so amazing. And then I realized you and I are in the book together, The Last Breath together. So I think that's fantastic.
Oh, it is. And that is such a fun book, isn't it? With all the different stories and everything that they're doing with the book, how they're doing all those Facebook lives and all the free readings and everything. Everyone's getting all these amazing messages.
I couldn't agree more. It's truly a well thought out, well planned book launch. And yes. I'm very proud to be part of it. So I'm so excited you are too. Good. So a couple questions for you. Tell me more about Pranic Healing, because I'm not aware of this one.
So Pranic Healing, and there's Master Co is one of the people that teach it. And then there's a couple different teachers. I always sign up with Shandon, but I was lucky enough last time to have Master Co as a teacher. And oh my God, he's amazing. And Shandon is amazing too. So those are the two that I love. And they do it out of like California. I'm in Michigan. So they do travel around, but it's energy healing. So I also do Reiki, and with the pranic, it's like you've got the bucket of salt water and you're taking the things out, putting it in the salt water. And you can also use crystals. So I remember the first time I saw Shandon using a crystal on someone. It was during break time, and he used to have clients like come into his classes and say, hey, listen, this is when we're going to have break. Come in and I'll do some work on you. So I happen to be watching, and I'm seeing all of the colors flying around as he's using the crystal. And then I kind of like look over to the right, and I'm like, oh, he called in a divine being, because all of a sudden I see like this white, like just this right there. So afterwards, and this was many, many years ago. So afterwards, I kind of went over in private and I said, hey, Shandon, so it's normal that I saw these colors flying around, like blue and white, and I saw a little yellow. And he's like, oh yeah. And I said, okay, and did you call in like a divine being, like an angel or something, to help you with this? Because I also saw that right, and I pointed out the area, and he goes, oh yeah, that's right where they were. Yeah. And then I just did oh, okay, thanks. It was one of those where you need that validation so you don't think you're nuts.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with being nuts, but I want to prove my nuts.
Exactly. So I love the energy healing, and I'll even kind of mix in the pranic and the Reiki, and I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but it works. So yeah, and intention, I think, has everything to do with everything. So I always set my intentions for, even before a reading, I set intentions in for the client that I'm reading for that loved one to step forward to give the most healing messages possible so that they can let go some of their fear or anger or whatever's going on in their life. Intention.
And I'm with you. I do the exact same thing. So I love that you do that too. It was actually one of the things that drew me to you. Well, besides this lovely grace and powerhouse that you are, you're welcome. I was also drawn to some of the stuff that you had said. We parallel each other quite well in that you had talked about intentions, and you talked about there's more to the psychic realm than just talking to dead loved ones, or there's so much more to it. And I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's start at the beginning. When did you first know that you were psychic, or how did you know, or have you always known?
Well, no, I didn't always know. So when I was like 3 or 4, I can remember I always hearing things in my room and seeing some things. Now, when I say hearing or seeing, it's like in that state that you're in, like in a dream, when you're seeing things. So it's third eye seeing and hearing. And I can remember going to my parents' room in the middle of the night going, there's people in my room. And them humoring me the first time and going in and no one's in here. The second time I got yelled at, and it was a go back to your room, there's no one there.
Right.
And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to talk about this with anybody. And when we were, and that was in Long Island, because we used to live in Long Island, Northport, Long Island. And I still would see and hear, and especially when I went outside, we were up on a hill surrounded with trees, and I was always talking to everything out there. And when we, but I knew not to say anything to anybody, and I never did. Even my closest friends in high school, nobody knew. Nobody. I just didn't say anything. When we moved to Michigan, it was a bit of a traumatic experience for the whole family because no one wanted to leave our beautiful house in Long Island. And so we moved to Michigan, and I kind of shut things down, where I think I made that choice of, I can't even deal with moving here to Michigan, let alone hearing anything. So I kind of shut it all down until, it was later in life when I said, all right, I feel you all around me. I now need to do something with this because I feel you. This isn't going to, the door's not going to stay shut anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And so so you opened back up to it, and you just said, okay, I know for me, it was a choice. It was, test the theory. Am I nuts? Or, or is this really true? And then for me, it was a trauma. It was my grandma and a very close mentor of mine passing away that flung me right into it. And it was them knocking on the door. So I knew I was psychic, but I didn't know I was a medium. Heck, I didn't even know what a medium was. And so for you, so then I had to take classes. I had to do that. For you, you already had the mediumship down pat. What did you develop first, or did you just start talking to them? How did that look for you? Meditating? What did that look like?
Well, what I had to do first was, because I'm very logical, and I'm the person that's going to go, oh, I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe this isn't. So I went to a medium, and they were giving me a reading. And then all of a sudden they're like, you can do what I do. And I was like, okay, well, maybe there is something to this. All right, maybe. And then when I had my first astrology chart done, my chart is all about psychic medium, all about it. And I went, oh, because I could see it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how logical I am. Like, okay, I need to see this. Even though I've already got things going on, it's like, nah, I want to see it too. Mm-hmm. And that's what my chart's all about. And even there's an aspect in there about working with the dead. It's crazy.
Love
It's
it.
crazy because part of what I love doing too is like someone that's in a coma, it's getting to the family what they need to cross over.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. Mm.
So, and I still take classes. I love taking classes because then I can kind of sit back and go, oh, I do that too. Okay, well, this would be better if I did this, or this kind of meditation, or so I love taking classes. And some people will say, well, do you what so then you really aren't because you need to take classes. And I go, well, doesn't a doctor take classes? Doesn't a nurse? A therapist takes classes. They go to seminars. Why wouldn't I do that? And then you see the whole look on their face go, oh, okay. Like they can't argue with it.
Exactly. I love that. I love that you brought up the professionals do it because we know they do. And I'm with you. I'm a lifelong learner. If I'm not in my class, I'm in somebody else's. And it's just, sometimes it's just to experience the teacher.
Yes.
So that was it for me when I first was introduced to Thomas John about 6 or 7 years ago. I instantly adored him. And through him, I found you. So he's been my channel towards even more greatness. I love that. And so one of the things, I'm just going to digress just for a sec. So for those of you that are watching this, and for those of you that are listening, you're not going to be able to see this, obviously, but you could turn over to the YouTube. So Maria has orbs around her. and I've seen 3 as you've been talking. So I encourage you guys to check out the live feed and have a look. So at least 3, there's 4, and they're just going to keep popping up. And you are, I mean, I get them as well, but not as often as you. So you and I have done a couple of things together, and every time I see them, I'm like, oh, there's another one. There's another one.
So here's
love
another thing I do too that kind of, I am someone that really keeps their house happy. And I honor, so the first owners, Alice and Neil, they were in the Audubon Society and in Cranbrook, which is a big, to do here. And they were really part of like the whole bird society. And they wrote a couple like little books. I've got 2 of them to honor them. And then Carnegie de Banyan was the second owner with his wife and his 3 girls. In fact, one of the girls has been to the house with her son. And he had his like full-time work, but his passion was this glass blowing. And I've got many of his pieces to honor him. And this was his favorite house. The daughter told me this was his favorite house. And when I took pictures of the house to show her, there was a big orb in this room. And I laughed and I'm like, thanks, Carnegie. So, and I took 2 pictures quick. One, no orb, second one, orb. And they were like quick. Yeah, I know. So I honor, and when I moved into this house, it was bad. It was bad. I was almost in tears signing, but I brought it back to life. And everything I've done is to honor the house.
I love that. And I love that you talk about that because to me, that's very important space-wise, to honor where you're at and make it a happy place. I'm so with you on that. I love the energy, the aspect of it. And, not every psychic medium, not every psychic or medium goes towards that. So when I meet people and I say, what's the energy of your house, or I'll do a house clearing, and they have no clue. I'm like, everything is living. Everything is a vibration. As you're vibrating lower, then I could talk about this all day.
I'm very much all about feng shui. And I've never really I've got books on it, but I've never really picked one up to read it. I just intuitively do it. Mm-hmm. And I'll walk outside and I'll I'll literally hear, oh, that your walkway's not looking too feng shui. And I will immediately like take care of it.
I love that.
So I'm all about that.
Good. I think that's great. I think that's, and especially taking care of it right away. I love this.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I want to keep going because I want to know more about you. You know what? I want to just keep talking for hours and hours, and I know we don't have that. So you actually, so apart from the book that you and I have done together, the collaboration, The Last Breath, you've also done a book. There is no death, only life. Can you talk a little bit about that? I'd love to hear more.
So that was my first book, and Thomas John did the foreword for that book, which I was so happy. And that book was really inspired by my mom's passing. So my mom passed in 2009, and she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. And when she came down with it, first of all, she had this itching, and she was going to an allergist for, it was a year and a half at least. And that's part of the symptoms of non-Hodgkin's, is this itching. So now if we go back in time, my mom was a nurse. She was a nurse, and then she went back to school, got her master's, and was a family therapist. When she was a nurse, the first people that she worked with, and I know this because her best friend told me after she passed, after my mom passed, they worked with the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma patients. So my mom was in complete denial of this because it was right there in front of her, where I feel like that if she had really taken control of this and said, yes, this is what I have, I'm going to take care of it, she'd still be here today. Instead, she decided to, it's allergies, where it wasn't. So, and even when she kept telling me, after a year and a half, oh no, it's good. I'm all cleared. I'm good. When I ended up going to the hospital the last time, and I thought she was just in there like for a cold.
Right.
No idea. So when I go and I ask, so what's up with my mom? What's going on? She has 10 days. That's how much denial she was in. And I literally said to the doctor, does my mom and dad know?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a conversation? The doctor could tell I was pissed. And he goes, I promise you, they both know. And I go, I promise you, she doesn't know. She's been telling me she's fine. He goes, no, she's in denial. And I said, well, then what do I do? Because here I am, a medium, and I'm like, what do I do?
Exactly.
And he goes, don't talk to her about it.
What?
I didn't talk to her about it because I honored what my mom needed. My mom didn't need me to be talking about, you've got 10 days left.
Right.
What do you want? I got her out of the hospital right away, though, and back to her condo. She was in Florida. Her and my dad were in Florida. They had the ocean view condo. And I told the doctor, I said, well, she's not dying here. We're bringing her home. And so that happened, and I made sure that everything was as perfect as I could for her. And then I went back to my kids, and I knew my mom wasn't going to pass with me there. We were too connected. Yeah. We were too close. And that was another gift I gave her. If I was sitting in that room holding her hand saying, it's okay, Mom, it would have been even longer. And not that I didn't want my mom here longer. I wanted her to have an easier transition. It wasn't about me. It was about her. And I think a lot of times family members forget that. It's not about you. It's about them. And what does your loved one need? And that's what my mom needed. And in fact, even that morning, it was a Friday, that morning I called at 10 and I said, Dad, can you put the phone up to her ear? Because by this time she was in a coma. I said, Mom, I'm getting on the plane soon. It's almost like I was giving her a heads up.
Yes.
I'm going to be there soon. I'm going to be there today, and it's going to be soon. I kid you not, she passed an hour later.
I'm not shocked by that at all. Not shocked.
Because she knew I'm
Mhm.
in Michigan. She's in Florida. She knew I couldn't make it there in an hour.
That's right.
It was impossible. An hour. My dad called me back. Yeah. So I say I struggled with it for a little bit, but I knew it was a gift I gave her. And I just was like, no, you know that this wouldn't have been as easy for her if you were there.
That's very selfless of you, honestly.
So I set everything up for her though, and made sure that the right hospice people, I had to fire one of them because it was awful. She was not good. So I made sure that the two that she really liked were the two that they took turns, like
Yes.
every 12 hours, that they were the ones that were there. So I had everything set up perfect for her.
I love that. I really appreciate that you're talking about not being in the room or not being there. Because you're right. A lot of people do have that feeling of, oh, I have to be there when they pass. And yet the moment they leave the room, they are riddled with guilt because their loved one passes. And it's the first thing, almost all the time when that happens, Spirit comes to me and says, I didn't want them to see me pass. And I love that you gave your mom permission to do it her way. And you knew it.
Oh, and I knew it. And it's funny that you even say do it your way, because Frank Sinatra was her favorite singer. And that was her favorite song. I did it my way.
There's no coincidences, or
no.
I wouldn't normally say that. So that, welcome.
Makes sense. Yes. Yes. Yep. Right when you said it, I'm like, oh, my mom's right there with her.
Okay.
Yes.
As the orbs go over your head again, for sure.
Oh, God, I love that.
Maria, what else are you working on right now? I mean, you've got a lot on the go, woman.
It's fun.
It is fun.
I do. And a lot of times I'm taking a deep breath going, okay, I'm a little overwhelmed, but it's a good overwhelmed feeling. So I do classes, I do readings, I do group readings. And then another thing that I've got coming up. So I just did that summit with Thomas John and the 5 other mediums. And I'm doing another summit with, there's 7 of us all together. So there's me and 6 other mediums, where we're taking, like, one's kind of doing tarot cards. I'm going to be talking about mediumship, which last time when we did this, so it's the fall boot camp, which you can find on, like, my website or Facebook page. And so last time I did mediumship, but this time I'm going to be throwing a lot of different things in with it. Someone's going to be talking about crystals. So there's going to be all these fun different topics, and it's a whole month. So it's the month of October.
Wow. Okay.
So there's going to be like 2 people each week. And then we're going to be doing tons of readings, like jumping on the Facebook Live thing once a week for sure, probably twice a week. So it's a great, and it's only going to be for that group though, for the people that sign up. So there's tons of opportunities for more messages too for people. Plus with learning, I love all that stuff and learning all that stuff.
Me too. Any chance I get. I sit in a master psychic circle, and we do the same thing. We're always teaching each other. We all have different modalities. So is it fair to say that your favorite modality, Maria, is mediumship? Or
I love mediumship, yeah.
Okay.
I love it. In fact, another thing is tomorrow night I'm doing it's a live event. Well, not a lot. It's going to be on the internet when I say live event, but we're doing readings for like 2.5 hours, and you can get your tickets on his site. And again, it's like maybe $25.
Yes.
So it's a super inexpensive way to, and not everyone's guaranteed a message, but I always have people say, well, I can't afford that. I can't, like, to get a full hour reading.
Yeah.
I offer so many other opportunities for free, or for, like, tomorrow. It's either $20 or $25. It's on his website for just a super duper reduced price.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Good. Do you have a favorite client? And if so, you don't have to say names. We won't say names, but what was the scenario around it?
So it's always the clients that have lost a child,
Oh.
just like, because I have 3 children,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even imagine. I just can't. And so there's several with those that have lost, where the child would come in. I'm going to tell you about 2 of them. I literally had a son come in, and this was maybe 2 years ago. And he's giving me all his validation, and there's just no way. There's no way I would know any of this stuff. And then all of a sudden he says, "Tell my mom to stop it. She's being disrespectful to my memory, and tell her to stop." And I was like, oh geez, how do I do this? And I'm like, so your son is, I guess you're doing something, and he's saying to stop. And then all of a sudden I felt a little darker, and I go, oh, you don't want to be here anymore.
Oh.
She tried taking her life 3 times.
Oh.
And he was telling her to stop it. And he was very clear and very like, you stop it now. You are not honoring me. And on that day, she said, I will never do that again.
Oh, you saved a life.
And that's happened a couple times with, and there, again, there's no way I would know, because it's not everybody that has, but that's happened twice, where when a child comes in and they're like, yeah, and tell them to stop that. They need to stop. They have things to do here, and they're staying. So tell them, they'll see me later. Yes. So tell them to stop. I had another one that they came for an in-person reading, and they had lost a daughter, and she had had cancer. And the daughter was bringing in different things, like a painting that was in the family room. And she's showing me exactly where it was. Now, the mother was the one that was a little bit skeptical, but the father was the one that I really came with an open mind. We had gone to see the Long Island medium, and like in one of her live shows. And that's when I was like, oh, this is real. Then we booked a reading with you. And I'm like, oh my God, what? You booked a reading after Teresa Caputo,
right,
with me. And thank God I always start my readings out with, we all work different. We're all not the same. Because I'm like, wow. And she's bringing in all these things. And then all of a sudden the daughter's talking about a blanket. And I'm like, she's bringing up this blanket. It's like a really special blanket. You've got it folded up right now though, but I feel like it's out where you can see it. It's special. And I go, wait a minute. Now she's going to the funeral. And the mom's got tears coming down. And I said, this is a special blanket. And I feel that other people participated in with the making of this, and I'm kind of like, because the way we get information, like, it's just all these things thrown at us. And with the blanket, it was how I was feeling with it. And she says, yes, a bunch of women made the blanket. We had it over the casket. And right now it is folded up, but it's in my room. I can see it. And I go, yes, she wants that out. and she's like, I'm right, when I go home, it's going to be out.
I love that. I just get truth bumps all over.
And it's fun with items like that, because there's no way you would know. I had one recently where grandma came through, and she had this quilt that she had done, but the daughter put it away in the closet. And I go, it's folded up, it's put away. I go, she wants it out, but don't let your father near it because he's a slob. And that's what Grandma's saying, because it was her daughter's blanket.
Right.
The daughter is dying laughing, and she goes, the blanket is in the closet folded up, so my dad can't touch it because he is a slob. And I go, she wants it out. Bring it out. Just tell him to stay away from it.
Aw. Oh, bless her heart.
And you can't Google that stuff.
No, exactly. Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. I love it when spirit is so strong and they can just give me such a validation like that.
Yes.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yes.
For sure. I love that. Awesome. And so how can actually, are you open to doing a couple of readings?
Yeah, I can see what I pick up on.
Okay. We'll keep them super short. No big deal. How about Jessica?
Is she starting something new?
Yeah.
Because right away, so I've kind of got my little workspace, but then it wants to go like this, like a new line. So I'm starting something new. Yeah, funny. Is it like her own? Like
Yes.
her own business?
Yep.
Because I want to do this, my own business. And this is something that she's kind of been thinking about for a little bit, but didn't do it because there was fear in this. And how I keep feeling is put that fear aside. And is her grandmother on her mom's side passed?
Yes, I can't validate that one.
Okay.
I think she is though.
I keep wanting to go to the mom's side. This is like a, kind of like this wiser woman coming through that is that kind of like I don't want to use the word bossy. I don't want to use that, but liked to give advice, liked to put her opinion in, but I don't want to use the word bossy, but liked to put her opinion in. I'm feeling good about this new endeavor that she's doing, and for her to really step out of the fear. So has Jessica in the past kind of gotten in her own way? I want to say put up her own hurdles, because I'm seeing now the hurdles, and I want to literally go like this and say, no, and go like that, and you're not going to do that this time.
Yes, 100%
So
validate that.
Okay. She needs to just step into it, because this will get bigger. But if she doesn't step into it, and when I say step into it, that's a push the fear aside, push those other things aside. And I feel like there's going to be some little tests with that for her. With her going, is that really what's going on? Or is that what I'm thinking? Or is that the roadblock I'm putting up? Or is that my own fear? So for her to kind of stop and go within, and she's going to get oh yeah, that's not real. Okay, I need to keep moving forward with this.
I love it. Yeah, that's perfect. You summed it up.
That makes sense.
Oh, completely.
Okay.
Good.
Is someone thinking about having a child?
Yes.
Because I keep feeling that. And there's this child. And isn't that funny? So, is it not one of the 4 names you gave me? Jessica,
Correct.
Lori, Vicky, Angel.
Correct.
Because oh God, you're going to laugh. It's you, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. So the whole time we've been talking, and even before, I kept hearing one of them, because I already had, so I doodle, and I already had those names written down. Right. Because you had told me, but you just gave me the names and
That's
nothing.
Right. That's right.
And I kept getting the baby, and it was getting stronger. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. And it's funny because I keep feeling this girl energy too. Like that's not going away. And this is, are you now?
No, I'm not.
You want.
I do, yes.
Okay. Okay, so I keep hearing it and I can see it. So I know that this is something that it's kind of like in your hands. This can happen. Interesting. And the girl wasn't going away. Like, I feel like that child's right there. Like, I'm here. I'm right here. Right here. You got a lot of stress. So as soon as I kind of went into everything, I'm like, oh, I got so much stress. I got like, it's here, it's on my back. So just kind of breathe. Easier said than done when we've got this stress and we've got so much going on, but it's kind of like some of that stress needs to be removed so then we can bring something new in that's waiting to come in.
That makes sense.
Is there something that needs to be taken care of in the home? Is this a person that's got some other things going on?
Yes, yes.
And is this things that person needs to work through?
Correct, yes.
Because I saw the suitcase. Whenever, and I don't get too many things either, but I know when I get some things, it's like, oh, okay. Because I just love the mediums that go, oh, and my sign for that is this. Right. And then I get this sign. I'm like, oh, good for you. they all come in different for me. Mm-hmm. And I am putting that puzzle together with only a couple that they'll stick with. Otherwise, it's all different. But I still go through it with, thank you. Thank you for giving me that. However you want to give it to me. So I saw the suitcase. I feel like that person needs to, oh my God, I literally want to say, suck it up and do the work.
Yes, exactly.
And that's not something like I would just blurt out. And this is someone on mom's side because I'm getting that up there also for you. So I know if I want to look up, it's mom's side. And if I'm looking down, it's dad's side. Okay. I keep looking up. This is mom's side. Is mom still here?
She is, yeah.
And her mom isn't.
Correct.
Her mom would have been this strong energy, strong force.
Oh, yes.
That's the suck it up. Suck it up and do what you need to do.
I'm not surprised.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. So hopefully, I mean, because we can't, hopefully the person decides to. I keep hearing car. Does car go with you?
Yes, it would.
Okay, and this is how grandma's car. So sometimes I'll hear things like a broken record, mm-hmm. and I'm sitting there going, oh, what? Like, okay, you can expand on that, grandma? Are you gonna? And sometimes they don't, and it's just car. So I will always spit it out when I'm seeing, hearing, and feeling. And I won't say anything that I'm not getting.
Right, yes.
Also, I don't know why would I keep going into the kitchen. Is there like a little, do you have like a kitchen table?
Yeah.
Like I want to sit at the kitchen table. I'm not sure what she's doing with this. Do you have some quiet time at that table?
You know, that's where we met. My grandma was always at the kitchen table. And so here, that's what we do now is we're always at the kitchen. It's our gathering place. And it was hers. She lived there.
The kitchen table. I love that. So, like you're already going to know this, but for other people, they give us things to say it's them. Mm-hmm. And that kitchen table and me saying, I want to sit at the kitchen table, that like identifies something that grandma was like, that's her. That is part of her, mm-hmm. and her being of wanting to sit at that table. And and let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's sit at the table.
And I think it goes hand in hand with what you're talking about. Everything, all the problems can be resolved at the kitchen table.
Yes.
Dinner, dinner, all that kind of stuff. And the car, I'm going to validate, needs some work. I've been putting it off, and it all makes sense to me completely. So guys, this is very unprompted. It was a complete surprise to me. Maria, oh my gosh, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. So
My pleasure.
Yes, I'll take that. That was amazing, especially in the beginning. I appreciate that. Oh, you have me at no words, which is not. So normally what I will do is I will put forth, like you said, 3 or 4 names to the psychic medium ahead of time, and only just give them the first name of somebody, and just say, if you could meditate on that or pull that up. I don't hide that whatsoever. I'm very open about that. And that's exactly my goal was to get through. So I have in my VIP circle, I have certain names that I draw from, and those are my go-tos. And then as other people call in and get to know more, they want a reading as well. So I give a little tidbit. Each psychic gives a little tidbit on that. And so we totally straight off, and I'm going to take that because I never ever think to put my name forward. And I just love that it came through. So I am eternally grateful. Every single one of those words and that reading meant everything to me, and it helps me with something I was struggling with and wondering about that nobody else knows. So I'm going to say maybe 2 people in this world know about, aside from me and my contemplation. So there's no way Maria you could have never possibly known that about me. I keep very secret, a very private life in that regard.
So I love that it was you. It wasn't one that you had, and also it was only first names.
Yes.
So again, there's no way that I would know anything.
None.
And I love that. I love that.
Me too. And it just, I love it goes. So my intention for our podcast today was, and I know this is what you're all about too, is absolutely validating. So it's one psychic medium to another, and it's validating for us, because we know that we get the signs, but I still want people to I still want to prove to people that this is real, because I mean, we get this all the time. It's not real, and it is. I promise, it is. How on earth? You can't Google that. You can't bring that up. I remember talking to you about it at the beginning of the show before we aired, and it's the same thing. That you can't know that a blanket is folded in a closet somewhere, and that's not Google.
And that they're keeping it in the closet away so her husband doesn't get it dirty because he's a slob.
Exactly.
You can't Google that.
No. And to have it validated said you're absolutely 100% correct. So I know we're out of time, but oh my gosh, Maria, thank you so much. How can people get a hold of you? How can they do a reading with you? You have to do a reading with her, group reading, whatever you can get your hands on. Take one of her classes. How do they get a hold of you? What's your website?
Oh, thank you. It's Maria Verdeschi, VERDESCHI.com. So my classes will be on there. You can book a reading right on my website. I'm on Facebook under Maria Verdeschi, Instagram Maria Verdeschi, Twitter Maria Verdeschi, and I mean I've got that Thomas John event,
right?
You know, and the psychic the fall boot camp that's going to be the whole month of October, where you can also. I think that it's nice when you can kind of because not every medium is going to be for everybody.
That's right.
So I always tell people, go and look at see who resonates with you. Go and read up on them. Go and look at their picture. Go and see if they've got a Facebook Live where you can hear their voice, because some people's voices you might be like, yeah, no, I can't listen to that for an hour. So I think it's really important for people to do their research before they book a reading also, because not everybody's for everybody. And I am, and I know, see, you are too, like we're on the same wavelength with how honest we are, because we just want people to get the best readings.
100%. I couldn't agree more. I love
Mm-hmm.
it. Maria, thank you so much. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.